Well, welcome back, everyone, to another segment here on the show, and I'm so happy to have Bob Bruce in the studio with me. We're going to be talking about an event that's happening, and one of the reasons I love the idea, it's a collaboration of music and Pelican Island, and I think putting all of that together is so dynamite. Good to see you, Bob Bruce.
Thank you, Marcia.
Now, Bob, you are the first vice president of the Pelican Island Audubon Society, and I have always heard about this particular organization called Call to Action.
Right.
Truly is getting a lot of word out now. Tell me about it.
Definitely.
And tell our listeners as well.
It's called the Indian River Lagoon Coalition, and we have put forth a letter, call to action letter, and we've asked different organizations to sign on to this. The lagoon is really on life support right now.
Yeah. Oh.
The Seagrass is dying from Grant down to 17th Street Bridge in Vero Beach.
You know, Bob, I forget where we were when we were watching. There was a documentary, and if I'm not mistaken, it was on the History Channel, and they were literally pulling up and trying to find some of the dolphin that were in our Indian River Lagoon. You could see the power plant right behind them, so you knew they were right here in our waters. And those dolphin were dying.
They have lesions on them.
Yes, and manatees.
Definitely. Right. We don't really quite know what the problem is. We suspect it's fertilizer runoff, it's stormwater runoff, it's herbicides, pesticides, but we're really not sure. Just a list of some of the organizations that have signed on to this letter. City of Vero Beach is in the process of signing on. Environmental Learning Center has signed on. Town of Indian River Shores, City of Fellsmere. Sebastian has been asked to sign on. They have not signed on yet. Quite a few environmental organizations. One notable organization, the Indian River Ministerial Association.
Really? That's what we need. We need to put them all out there and say prayers over our Indian River Lagoon.
Everybody is getting concerned about this lagoon. And that lagoon right now is contributing about $3.7 billion to our local economy.
You betcha.
And we have got to save it. This is very important.
You know, Bob, I'm so happy that you're here. I know we were sitting here because we were expecting a member of our Vero Beach Choral Society to join you because you're having a great concert and kind of collaboration of all of this. And I guess really what I'm delighted for is that we can really go in and delve into this situation with our Indian River Lagoon and the call to action because there are people in our community, Bob, who have no idea the importance of our waterways. They have no idea until they look at that water and they realize, as you said, that's the first time I've heard the number, the dollar amount. That sometimes hits the pocket. What was that number again?
$3.7 billion.
Wow. I mean, when you think about this and when you see, as you say, the seagrass dying and what it means, John Orcott spoke to us, board members up at the Environmental Learning Center, and we know how vitally important it is, too. Can individuals who are listening to us right now, can they call someone and say, I want to be a part of this call to action?
Definitely. You can call John Orcutt or Doug Graybill with the Yale Club. I don't have phone numbers for them right now.
Doug Graybill, you can get him at the Environmental Learning Center, too, and find out he does a lot of that work with us. He's on the board, and boy, oh boy, and John Orcott, of course, so well known. But when you say call to action, is there something we can specifically do or be aware of?
Yes, we are hoping that our local governments will sign on to this. Really, the only organizations that can deal with this lagoon is local government, the county, the cities, and so forth, St. John's River Water Management District. The people really, they can do a little bit with, working with fertilizers and stuff like that and limiting their use and picking out the right fertilizer. But government is the answer.
Government is the answer, and you don't ever hear me saying too much about that because I think, but in this case, we need to do something because when
I really believe in small government, but right now there is no other way.
Well, we've often been aware of boats that in some cases are polluting our waterways, and yet boating is the most fun and wonderful, and there is a way you can do it and keep our waters clean. We can go back years and years and years and years ago and remember, not even think about throwing something over the side of the bridge or a boat, and yet you don't want to do that now. It's losing those seagrass that, from what I understand, they are the home life for animals, for cleanliness, it's like a sieve, is it not?
That is correct. And just one figure here. During a 2-year period, 2009 to 11, there has been an estimated 43% loss in area covered by seagrass. This is equivalent to 53 square miles.
And ladies and gentlemen, we can say that forever and ever, but until you understand the importance of what seagrass means to our waterways, you won't get it. So find out and understand it. Want to move on a little bit here, though, because the Blue Cypress Lake is so absolutely fantastic. You're taking tours out there.
Right. Pelican Island Audubon Society is sponsoring sunrise and sunset tours. It's an $85 donation to Pelican Island Audubon Society per person. Richard and Juanita Baker wrote a book about Blue Cypress, a coffee table book, and all of the money that we raised this year is going toward reprinting that book. This is an absolutely beautiful tour. There's about 150 to 200 osprey nests on the lake, active on the lake right now, and there's about 600 to 1,000 osprey flying around.
Oh, my golly.
It is unbelievable. And this is a very unspoiled lake.
Oh, do you know, as you and I were talking, the Blue Cypress Lake just goes back in history with so many of us that have grown up here in the area, and it's a beautiful, beautiful tour. And so really they can contact, how do they sign up for that?
Just go on the web to pelicanislandaudubon.org, and there's a link there. Contact our office manager. Charlotte Terry has been very gracious. She's let us keep the boat out there at her house, at her dock.
Oh, how terrific. And you're also having a birding festival.
Yes, we are. April 5th and 6th, we're having the Treasure Coast Birding Festival. We're co-sponsoring that with the Cultural Council, and that will be at University of Florida, the Florida Medical Entomology Lab on Oslo Road, just east of US 1.
Yeah, people don't realize that's there. And if you're going down there, even if you're going down to the Nissan place or any of the car dealers down there or the mall, the shopping areas down there, just head east. And University of Florida is well represented in our community.
Correct. And there will be tours of the University of Florida there, the campus, and there will be exhibitions of the research that they do on mosquitoes.
Oh,
this
boy.
is the world's best lab for mosquito research.
Oh, that is so cool. And because in that, let me tell you something, if you grew up here, you know how important it is to keep those mosquitoes at a minimum. But you also have a meeting of the sharks?
Right. Our speaker in Sebastian on March 11th at 6 p.m., I don't remember his name, but he's going to be talking about sharks. He's one of the foremost experts on sharks.
It's not Grant Gilmore, is it?
No, Grant has talked to us quite a few times.
Yeah. Oh, these are, now see, this, if you want to barely become a Floridian, you need to really go into all of these. And also, of course, with the Environmental Learning Center, putting it all together, you have an annual awards situation, I think, too, on the 18th. Right. And that's going to be at, where is that going to be?
Vero Beach Community Center.
But all of these,
7:30 p.m.
And all of these different events you can find out by simply going to pelicanislandaudubon.org and find out when they are happening. But there's a very, very beautiful concert with the correlation, and I should say the collaboration of your two organizations, the Vero Beach Coral Society and the Pelican Island Audubon, and that's happening when?
April 5th and 7th.
And that's
going to be at Trinity Episcopal Church.
And that is a time when you really, from what I understand, it's going to be photography, it's going to be music, it's going to be everything that's going to get you in the spirit of this beautiful Indian River Lagoon that is so vitally, vitally important.
Correct.
Now, we only have about a minute left, Bob, so
Okay.
if you will, once again, talk to me about this call to action and how we can all participate.
Well, I guess to sum it up, we're trying to put pressure on local government to do something about the Indian River Lagoon. It is in very bad shape, and it's on life support, and we have got to do something. It is our recreation, it's our economy. I can't think of anything
I can
else.
tell you, if you don't like the heat of summer, you should be in an area where you don't have the river and the ocean.
Right.
Because that's what keeps us cool and it keeps us warm in the winter. And that's what I learned a long time ago. When you can be near that water, and then if you haven't been on a boat, you just don't know what it's all about. But I have to tell you, it is so much fun to have you, Bob Bruce, here. Going to be talking with you in more detail. And remember, we have to all go out there and save our Indian River Lagoon. Thanks so much for being with us.
Sure. We appreciate being invited.
Thanks so much. And everybody, we have a couple more segments lined up for you. Stay with us. We'll be right back.